3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name's Amy Johnston, and I am doing this slide presentation for EDL 850 School Law, Module 1. I want to talk first a little bit about my personal information. I am a mom of 3 kids, 12, 10, and 8, and my husband Ryan. We live in the small town of Dover, just southwest of Topeka. And we live out in the country, so we have chickens, rabbits, dogs, cats, anything else the kids convince us to bring home. We love living in the country. I am the president of Dover Pride, which is part of Kansas Pride, and it is a community involvement organization. So we do things like raising money for a playground or community cleanups, things like that. I'm also the Dover 4-H club leader. I grew up in 4-H and FFA, and so I have a lot of fond memories of 4-H, and I'm super excited that my kids are interested in 4-H also, and I can help guide them through that. I love Mexican food, any kind of Mexican food, any restaurant that has Mexican food. As far as my professional information about myself, I graduated from Emporia State for my undergrad and a master's in instructional design and technology. I have just finished my 2-year rotation as the elected vice president for KATM, which is our state math committee, and I am in charge of the state math conference as to getting presenters and organizing that. So if anyone is interested in presenting at the state math committee, be sure to let me know. I also finished my national board certification this past school year. What a great professional development that was. I really enjoyed it. And it's kind of what turned the corner for me from a classroom teacher to thinking about other opportunities. And I learned through national board that teaching is so big and there's so much that can be brought in and taught to others that sometimes we assume people know. And so I just recently have switched from 17 years in the classroom to an instructional coach at Whitson Elementary in 501. I'm only 2 weeks in, but so far I am loving it. And so my last picture on the slide about myself is to let your instructional coach handle it. And I really feel like that's my job, is to help the teachers be successful with their students. And then anything I can do to support them, whether it's listen or bring ideas or advocate for them, it just is a role that has a lot of meaning to me, because I really get what it's like being in the classroom sometimes and feeling so overwhelmed and wishing there was someone I could go to. My next slide is the critical reflection, where I was asked to explain and demonstrate knowledge of federal and state school laws, as well as school board policies that provide a safe learning environment where all students are encouraged to learn. And like most schools, I've been in schools that have PBIS and talk a lot about safe learning environments. So I'm familiar with that and trauma-informed education. But when it comes to the actual laws, I put kind of a smiley cricket face, because there's stuff common sense that I think I know, but I really wouldn't want to make assumptions on that. As far as what my school administrators have demonstrated is that they are smart enough to ask for help and make sure they have clarification. And then the last picture on this slide I put is the kind of flow chart of who to go to with what problems. I work in a really big district right now, and so we have a full-time attorney. I know other schools might contract with an attorney, but when it comes down to needing information about federal and state laws and school board policies, I guess I have seen my leaders really rely on others to help them know, and they don't just have it memorized. So for myself, what I would do to help encourage or learn those laws is all I really have right now is the classroom teacher perspective. So I would make sure that there's a safe learning environment for learning, but I would probably ask if a question came up like that because there's just so many rules. So I have 3 pictures that kind of show my plan. I plan to pay attention in class for EDL 850, and I plan to ask questions, and I plan to be aware of who to go to for questions. Thank you. Oh, last. I thought this was a great quote to go with this. There's no shame in admitting what you don't know. The only shame is pretending you know all the answers. And I guess when it comes to school law, it's pretty important that you don't screw that up. Thanks.